Hey, welcome back to our final episode of this series in real estate investing. We've got Cory King with us, aka the man with the golden touch. Cory and I have met. We've done a couple of deals together. He's a great guy, and looking forward to sharing some of your golden nuggets of wisdom with us. So, before we get started, tell us a little bit about your history and what gets you going, what keeps you going.
Awesome. First off, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, that's great. Always happy to go back and just pour into other people. So what got me started? What got me going? So past career, right? So many of us in real estate have a past career in there. So for me, that was restaurant hospitality. I worked my way up from the kitchen into management, eventually bought and became an owner operator of that, and I did that for nearly a decade. And so I learned a lot of lessons, learned in building a team, what it's like running a business, enjoyed that a lot. And then a lot of those lessons translated into real estate, as I recognized I didn't want to stay in that forever, right? Because it's very easy to get trapped in that business for a long time. But I knew I wanted to get out, and I enjoyed being my own boss. I enjoyed like setting my own hours, having some autonomy there. And so real estate was always something that I was interested in, and it seemed just like a natural progression just to bet on myself and go all in on it.
Okay, thank you. That's great. So that eventually led you to Knoxville.
That's right.
And to your business here. So tell us how we know your journey got you to where you're at. How long have you been in real estate? I guess is a good question.
6 years now.
6 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
2019 is when I started.
All right. So where is your business at right now? Tell us a little more about Grid, Casa,
Sure.
and how that works together.
Yeah, so my first couple of years as a solo producer, and eventually started to make sense to start building out a team. I started hitting a certain ceiling where I can only do so much at the end of the day, and so you start like leaning on other people,
Right.
bringing in more help in order to accomplish the mission. So now I've got myself and 6 other agents in production. We're pacing to close probably just over 100 units this year, which is super exciting to see. That was
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great.
That was our goal starting out.
Hit the goal, good.
Yeah, that was our goal starting out. This going into this year was really the target was 50 listings, 100 closed transactions. We've at this point signed 65 listings year to date so far. So we're far exceeding our goal for the year. Yeah, absolutely, which is just awesome to see that starting to come through, and just excited for what the future holds for us.
Great, that's wonderful. So tell us how you stay where you're at, what you do to stay successful.
Sure.
And what the future is going to look like for you to maintain that success.
So the biggest thing, I think this translates from business, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been a long time, is just consistency and sticking to a plan, right? Knowing what things really move the needle like in your business and just focusing on that, because it's very easy to get distracted by sort of the shiny object syndrome that's out there. And so knowing what levers you can pull that creates a predictable outcome, that's what creates predictable income, for us.
Understood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you keep those connections close? Move on to a different topic.
Sure.
Let's say you've got your investors, your agents. How do you connect them?
Sure. Well, so about 4 years ago, we launched our Grid Knoxville investor community, right? Which was what I found to be one of the best ways to bring everybody together. It's a pretty powerful room where we started out off with 11 people on a Zoom call 4 years ago. Now we've got a local community here of nearly 2,000 people with meetups that average in attendance anywhere between 70 and 100 people. And so by building a community or pouring into a community, you don't have to go start one necessarily, but you can certainly join one and pour into that. And that's what we found has been able to keep people close, keep opportunities moving around, and enables us to really stay in touch at a high level.
Thank you. Now, I've been to several of the events that they do, and they are spectacular. Just meeting good people, and that's really been fruitful. I appreciate that sense of giving back. Not to toot your horn too much, but the event that you had where the annual event that you did, giving back to the community with it was just phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
So what advice would you give to someone who is already in the space, who is already an entrepreneur but wants to take their business to the next level?
Yeah. Well, it all starts certainly with your first hire. Like if you haven't made that, that's kind of the next evolution of that is success through others. No one really succeeds alone. That's why there's a team, right? So in order to really scale and grow anything, you need to add people. And it's easy at first to get caught up in the mindset of viewing like hiring somebody as an expense, right? How do I justify the expense of this person in my business? And you really have to flip the script and realize that this is an investment. I'm making an investment in my business. I'm making an investment in this person doing your due diligence and vetting, going through some interviews on the front end is great, but eventually you're gonna have to pull the trigger and looking at that as, hey, I'm making an investment. And we certainly know in real estate investing that it doesn't always pan out.
That's right.
We aim for it to,
Sure.
right? But it doesn't always pan out, and that's okay. That's part of the journey, because on each part of that, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna have a takeaway in that. Hey, I tried with this person, that didn't really work out. You can self-reflect if you're humble enough. You can look back and like, where did my communication go wrong,
Right.
and how could I have set better expectations on this with this person? That's oftentimes what I found is the biggest challenge for folks when they're doing that too, right? Is it's unmet like expectations because the communication breakdown is just
Right.
there. We're just not setting things up on the front end properly.
Understood. So what are some initiatives that you're working on right now that you're excited about?
So super excited to continue growing the team. It's been a big venture of ours here over the last 2 years. It's really neat to see what 2 years of building is starting to come together. We're excited to continue to grow our great investor community. And really the next venture I'm pretty excited to dive into, which is going to be towards Q4 of this year, is actually our own acquisition, kind of the direct cash offer kind of route, and build that out as a whole separate sales team, such that I have 2 sales teams that feed each other at that point, which is something I'm very excited to build out. We're building some cool stuff right now.
Yeah.
AI is a pretty incredible tool, so working on some pretty impressive things. I'm excited to really launch here towards the holidays.
Excellent. Let's take a little segue into AI for
Sure.
a minute. So brand new
Yeah.
to most folks. ChatGPT is not the only AI out there.
Sure, that's right.
So tell me a little bit how you're leveraging AI as a tool for your team.
Yeah, so we're finding it for a number of just simple tasks. What's pretty impressive, like ChatGPT is the one I'm most familiar with, and so that's the one I probably spend the most time in. There are some great platforms out there. That's just the one I've gotten familiar with it. One way I found, honestly, that was easy for me to even realize what it was I just started asking it, hey, as a real estate agent, what are the top 5 ways I can leverage AI in my business?
Great,
right?
yeah.
And it gave me a thing. Some things was like database entry, help with contract writing. I created our own script practice partner, which is fun. We talk a lot about script practice and role play. And I built a bot in there that I can chat with in real time, and we can practice objections and things like that. So some skill building, which is a lot of fun. So you can actually ask it what it thinks you need, and it'll spit out a list, which is really cool as well. That's really where I started, right? It was wait, what are the top 5 things that me as a real estate agent could use AI in my business? And it gave me some things, and then I just started spending about 30 minutes a night. After I get the kids to bed, spend about 30 minutes a night just diving into it, trying different prompts and playing with it. And it's been pretty fun to build some stuff out.
No, I like that. The branch manager I work with at Bigfoot Mortgage, he said, if you work at something for 11 minutes a day, within a year, you're going to be in the top percentile.
That's right.
Almost an expert in that area. That's all it takes. A little bit of time, but a lot of discipline.
30 minutes a night is it?
Yeah, that's great.
We'll have usually some kind of trash TV on or something like that in the background. It's 9 o'clock at night, kids are in bed, and I'll spend 30 minutes there just kind of playing around with it. And I'm 38, right? So I am not digitally native as, say, the 20-year-olds of today are, that grew up with just knowing internet and the powers of it, right? I look at my oldest, who's 5 years old, and he's already figuring things out with tablets or phones or things like that I would have had no clue right at the time. I remember what it was like getting a computer in the house, and you had the computer room, and then we got internet. So it's neat to see how technology has evolved, and I'm having to keep up with it. And so that's my way to at least keep up with it. Just 30 minutes a day, and just over time, I'm super excited to see where things look like in a year from now.
That's great. That's great. So if someone is an investor and let's say a mature investor, and they want to be involved, they see the benefit and the value in real estate, and they don't know where to get started to jump in. There's so many things: fix and flip, ground up, DSCR. What type of advice would you give to local investors who want to get in the game?
It's a good question. So if you're not already, say, in real estate, but maybe you've been investing in some other areas, or you've got some capital available, certainly partnering with people and just finding ways you can lend money, find somebody who's already successful in the space. I love doing joint ventures with folks where if they've got $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 they may want to throw into a flip project, and we can help convert that to a 10-15% return in 3 months to 4 months, time frame.
Ding.
Pretty healthy, yeah.
All the
ding,
investors
great
just
way to start.
smiled.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I really love doing those kind of projects because it's ways for people to participate in the game where we'll help kind of walk them through the process if they've never done it before. That's always a great place to really start, right? Get into a room like Grid, get in their network and find out where you can maybe contribute and really start thinking about where do I want this to look like for me in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years down the line, and then just start working backwards from there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Set the goal, make the plan, work the plan. And that'll get to it.
Absolutely.
So speaking of, where do you see your group in 5 years?
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. So, 5 years from now, I'd really say I like keeping my team pretty lean. So I've got myself and 6 others. I really don't think we're going to get to about like 10 of us total in production. I think that's a real sweet spot overall. So 5 years from now, really what that looks like is we'll have our 2 separate sales teams. They'll be running kind of independently of each other, but certainly collaborating between our direct to seller acquisitions team and then our regular real estate business. And so those will continue to grow out. I'm looking forward to growing leaders within there, as there's going to be people that I've already envisioned in my mind that are going to be there helping run those teams. That's going to allow me just to continue to do what I enjoy doing, which is either just finding opportunities and how can I bring one-to-many opportunities to the group, and then just coaching and leading through that.
One-to-many,
Yeah,
the man with the golden touch. I'm not the only guy who said that too. Come to some of these meetings, you'll hear other people say it too. That's wonderful. Cory, thank you so much for sharing your time, your wisdom with us. Before we go, one last thing. If you were to give something to all of the entrepreneurs in the Knoxville area, something you would want to share with them, what would you want to share?
Sure. Go with your gut, bet on yourself, take massive action. Starting out in a business is a lot. It's a lot of effort. It's the analogy I like to use. It's like when they launch a space shuttle, right? When they just put the shuttle up into orbit, it's like 80-90% of the fuel is used just to get that thing into space and get it into orbit, right? So I think people discount the amount of like action and activity it really takes to get a business started. That first, 2 years or so is the real grind. That's where you're really gonna know, yourself, by that point really well. But if you can see it through, be willing to take the massive action, once you've got that thing into orbit, well, at that point, then it's just little course corrections along the way, right? If you find yourself drifting a little bit here, okay, well, we just course correct and we get back going. So yeah, go with your gut, bet on yourself, take massive action.
Great, fantastic advice.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Cory. So great to have you.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
You bet.